dun 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 dun. Let's go.
Okay, so this is my first attempt at this. I've never done this before. This is my first video. I am going to be, I've seen this video. It's a Tucker Carlson segment on Fox News. And he's talking about Kamala Harris's birthday party. They surprised her with a birthday party at the White House, and this is Kamala Harris's reaction. Right, so here we go.
Old calling. Introducing Lucia, the easiest, most accurate way to prospect. Simply sign up for free.
I have no idea what that is.
Now you can reach more than 50 million direct dials. How? Easy. Find your target on LinkedIn and click on Show Contact.
Okay, so here we go.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight, cheerful in spite of it all. We've spent an awful lot of time telling you what we think about the Biden administration. We do it virtually every night, a little repetitive. So tonight,
That's for
for
sure.
once, we are going to let the Biden administration speak for itself. This show has obtained some recently shot footage of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the President and Vice President of the United States, or vice versa, depending on your view. Footage that shows...
So he's implying that Kamala Harris is actually directing the country, taking the role of the presidency, because Tucker thinks that President Biden is inept, that he's got some kind of mental disorder or physical, like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or something like that. That's what he's implying, which isn't true. President Biden is in perfect health. Of course, he's checked out by his doctors regularly. So I don't really think that what he's implying is true, of course. Let's continue.
them in their private moments, deep within the federal compound in Washington. It is a remarkable window into who these people really are. And maybe the most remarkable thing about it is that this video comes from the Biden administration itself. They released it, apparently on purpose. They wanted you to see it. They thought you would be impressed. They thought it would make them look good.
They probably thought that, hey, the birthday of the Vice President of the United States is something to celebrate, and maybe the rest of the country wants to see what they did at the White House to celebrate this occasion. I mean, she's the first female Vice President of the she's the first black female Vice President of the United States. So maybe the marking of the occasion is warranted. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Keep that in mind as you watch this first clip. This footage is from Kamala Harris's, quote, surprise birthday party the other day. Here it is.
Seems fairly normal. Her husband giving her a bouquet of flowers. They do a little kiss through the mask. Tucker has something to say about that too. Seems very cordial.
In the entire history of sad parties, that has got to take first place. Talk about it.
What does he expect? It's the White House. They're employees. It's not like it's a party at some kind of venue. They're in their place of work. So they have work to do. They have things that get done. This is just a pause in their day to celebrate something special, and then they'll go back to work. I mean, perfectly reasonable. Seems to be something that every office would do when somebody has a birthday. I don't know. I don't work in an office, but not now anyway. But I did, so this seems perfectly normal.
But a mirth-free event.
Mirth-free. Interesting word.
To act out this concept they just heard about called happiness. The head alien is a supernaturally strange being called Kamala Harris, who, for reasons no one ever explains, walks into a room in the most secure building in the world with a piece of elasticized fabric over her face. Like, that's totally normal. Just another masked birthday celebration.
So, I don't know what he's trying to imply here. That the whole scene is alien to him. Why would it be alien to him? He works for Fox News, one of the biggest offices. He probably works in an office building, and they celebrate birthdays probably very similar to this. So he's implying or comparing them to the event as alien. He doesn't know what's going on. He's kind of it's just stupid. I don't understand what the point he's trying to make by saying that they're aliens.
This Kamala Harris then walks over to a man press reports claim is her husband, who, like her, is fully vaxxed. He, for some reason, has a mask on his face, too.
They have a mask on their face because they can't maintain social distancing. Even if you're fully vaxxed, and in an environment where you can't maintain social distancing, it's recommended that you be masked. That's what they're doing. So they're giving each other a little kiss through the mask. It's cute. It's what they do because they have to stay masked. So they give a little kiss through the mask. What's so alien about that? I have no idea.
Which suggests that they don't actually live together or indeed have ever met.
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. He's her husband. Of course they live together. I don't understand why people take this guy seriously. Like, really. Honestly, why are they so serious? Why do they take him so seriously?
We don't know the truth, but whatever it is, the two then proceed to pantomime the most sexless imitation of a kiss imaginable, awkwardly rubbing faces through the gauze. And then, as if it could get weirder, Harris suddenly yells surprise at her own surprise birthday party, like she's hosting the event for one of her multiple personalities.
I don't know where he gets that because that's not shown in the video. So whatever he's talking about is not relevant to what is on the video. So all he shows is their parties. He doesn't show her saying, yells surprise. It's not in the video.
What the hell is going on here? Who are these people? Oh, just our leaders, the people who run the country. And then it gets truly bizarre.
Truly bizarre.
Take a look at this video, again, intentionally released by the White House press office, of Joe Biden in a hallway. He totters along like a nursing home patient in the final stretch.
Does he look like he's tottering? Like, I don't see tottering. What is he talking about?
Clearly unaware of his surroundings or what he's carrying in his own hands. Spoiler alert, they're flowers.
Unaware of what he's carrying in his own hands? Where does he get this stuff? Like, he's just making stuff up. That's the thing. He's looking at the video. He's putting his own bias on what he sees, or he's just making it up for ratings, for clicks, for views, which is kind of sad when you have to make up stuff just to get views. I mean, I think there's something about journalists making up the news. I think that's wrong, something like that. I don't know. It's something where I could look it up, but I'm not going to at the moment.
Established in
Commercial!
PNY has over 35 years of experience delivering.
And we skip.
Really? Oh, no. Oh, I'm very good. Thank you.
So I just want to back it up here a little bit because Tucker makes a comment about Kamala in her office masked by herself. And that we're take a look a little bit, and we'll verify what he's talking about here. So there's Joe coming into the office. There's Kamala. Is she masked or is she putting on a mask?
Really?
She's unmasked and putting on a mask as the president enters the room because they can't maintain social distancing. She was not masked alone in her office. She was unmasked, and she put the mask on when Joe Biden came in.
Got it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm going to hang this up with great pride. Thank you, Mr. President.
The camera catches her masked alone in her own office.
Which we saw was not true.
Oh, Joe, I'm very touched, says this alien posing as vice president. She goes on to use the word gorgeous, a word that no actual human being has used since 1977.
I was born in 1978. And I use the term gorgeous all the time, especially when referring to my gorgeous girlfriend. It hasn't been used since 1977. That's absolutely ridiculous.
There's even, if you listen for it, a fake kiss sound in there.
Really?
We're assuming Harris made that sound, though it's possible they're playing some sort of soundtrack in the background. Lifelike Party Sounds, Volume 1.
So, again, he's just making stuff up.
We can't be certain. What we do know is that they wanted you to see this, and that is interesting. You can tell a lot about a regime by the propaganda it produces. North Korea puts out a ton of propaganda. Just the other day, Kim's government released a video of its soldiers breaking concrete slabs with their bare hands. One particularly committed communist lies down shirtless on shards of broken glass. So the message here is not hard to understand. These are the people defending North Korea. Back off or we'll eat you. Okay, got it. But what's the message of the Joe and Kamala videos? All your nightmares are real? The people in charge are even worse than you thought they were? Kamala may have seemed kind of fake to you. Joe may have looked a little out of it. But actually, the White House has announced
Kamala looked fake and Joe looked out of it. I did not see that anywhere. His remarks don't make any sense. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why people take him seriously. This is clearly entertainment. Because the things that he's saying either don't match with the video he's apparently commenting on, or they're just completely untrue. I don't even have to look this stuff up to know that it's untrue. Okay? It's stupid. I mean, I can't understand why anybody would see this anything more than entertainment, because the stuff that comes out of his mouth is absolutely ridiculous.
telling us you don't know the half of it. It's possible Kamala Harris is an actual robot with batteries, the new frontier of AI.
So, there are people that follow Tucker Carlson and take his word as gospel politically, and him saying that Kamala Harris is a robot with batteries, I mean, come on, Tucker. I mean, is this really what the Americans eat up? Was there a portion of the American society that eats this stuff up, that actually cares what this man is saying and takes it as true? Because it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
Joe Biden isn't just punchy, he's barely conscious. That's the message they're sending. It's really strange. And it's been going on for a while.
Talk about strange. I mean, this whole video is strange.
Remember last year when Joe Biden read from a note card that Kamala Harris would be his vice president? This was the announcement video they released.
Hi, sorry to keep you.
That's all right. You ready to go to work?
So he's saying that Joe Biden is going to read from a card when asking Kamala Harris to be his vice president. He does have a card in front of him, but is he reading from it? I mean, what's there to read? Kamala Harris, will you be my vice president? She says yes. Everything's good. And then they win the election.
Oh my God, I'm so ready to go to work.
First of all, is the answer yes?
The answer is absolutely yes, Joe, and I am ready to work. I am ready to do this with you, for you. I'm just deeply honored, and I'm very excited.
Whoa. That's all he has to say? He's claiming that Joe Biden is reading off a card. Yes, he's got a card in front of him, but is he reading off of it? I don't know. I can't tell that by looking at the video. So if Tucker's saying anything else, he's clearly making it up.
That's just beyond belief. So why would the people around Joe Biden want the public to see something like that?
Because they want the people to it's transparency. It's Joe Biden asking Kamala Harris to be his vice president. What is so alien about that? He's implying things that aren't there.
Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're not embarrassed of Joe Biden's condition. Maybe, in fact, his condition was the whole point of making him the Democratic nominee for president in the first place. That's not unimaginable. It's happened. There's precedent for it. In 1617, a group of unscrupulous political operatives in Istanbul installed a mentally defective man as Sultan of the entire Ottoman Empire. His name was Mustafa I. Historians later referred to him as Mustafa the Mad, and he certainly was that. Mustafa spent his days babbling like an infant and throwing coins to birds. Occasionally, if he was feeling sporty, he would knock the turban off someone else's head. He was completely demented. The general population...
So here's Tucker Carlson comparing Joe Biden to some sultan in the Ottoman Empire, I guess. Where the sultan in the Ottoman Empire was crazy, mad. He describes him here, and then comparing him to the Joe Biden administration. I mean, the comparison is nonsensical. I don't understand. Where Joe Biden is, I mean, he wouldn't be president if he wasn't competent. The Republicans, I mean, if he was incompetent, it would show in his activities, in his you would see it. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense. And if he was incompetent, Congress would invoke Amendment 25 and have him removed, and Kamala Harris would take over as president. That's the way it works. And he's been president since January 20th of 2020. They've had plenty of time to call him incompetent or to evaluate his mental health.
He didn't know that, of course. The Sultan rarely left the palace, and when he did, he spoke from a script. But the people around him certainly knew. They preferred him that way. He was easier to control. Whenever you think of him, Joe Biden is definitely easy to control. You recall this clip in which Biden kept referring to something called the Harris-Biden administration.
Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort and keep pushing further to make it easier for military spouses and veterans to find meaningful careers.
So he's saying, Joe Biden is saying the Harris-Biden administration on purpose, putting Kamala Harris before him, meaning Kamala Harris actually has the power and Joe Biden is some puppet that Kamala controls. That's ridiculous. Any person would understand that that is totally ridiculous. Joe Biden has an army of aides that give him information, vet information, study stuff, look stuff up for him, all this stuff, that do the things that a president needs to do. If they thought that the president was incompetent or that Kamala Harris was the one actually pulling the strings, somebody would say something. I'm sorry. In this day and age, somebody would blow the whistle and say, hey, this is not right. Joe Biden is actually being controlled by Kamala Harris. And they would, I mean, it would be the story of the century. Worse than Donald Trump losing the election.
Again, these are prepared remarks. We can't say that enough. These are statements that the Biden people are making voluntarily. So many of them are like that. They're not gaffes.
No, they're not gaffes. I think that in Joe Biden's mind, he doesn't see Kamala Harris as below him. He sees them as equals. So when he says the Harris-Biden administration, he could say the Harris-Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration. To him, they're interchangeable. So that's probably why he said the Harris-Biden administration in the first place, because he sees that Kamala Harris and him are on the same level and that their positions are interchangeable. That's just Joe Biden's opinion or the way that he views things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people might think that there is something wrong with that, but I mean, it's not a gaffe. It's just the way Joe Biden sees things.
They're what they want you to see. In December of last year, Kamala Harris, who grew up in Canada, a foreign country, swore that she witnessed, quote, multiple generations of her family celebrating Kwanzaa, an American holiday that was invented in Long Beach, California, after Kamala Harris was born.
Right. So Kwanzaa is a black holiday. It was started in the United States, and yes, Kamala Harris did spend some time in Canada, but I mean, she went to school here for a while, and that's it. So implying that when he says Canada is a foreign country, yes, a foreign country, but our society and our traditions are deeply intertwined with the United States. We're a lot less, we're a lot more chill, I would say, than the United States. But referring to us as a foreign country is not untrue, but it's not, what's the word? I can't think of the word. We've been allies with the United States longer than anybody in history. We have the longest peace treaty. In history. We have the longest unpatrolled border in the world. So saying that we're a foreign country, yes, we're a foreign country, but our societies, our cultures are deeply intertwined. So yes, we're a foreign country, but we're friends. We're supposed to be friends. We're not adversaries. We don't have an adversarial relationship. We have a friendly relationship, a cooperative relationship, and a peaceful relationship. So what he's implying is kind of like saying that we are separate and apart from the United States, and I don't think that's entirely true.
My sister and I, we grew up celebrating Kwanzaa. Every year, our family and our extended family, we would gather around across multiple generations, and we'd tell stories. The kids would sit on the carpet, and the elders would sit in chairs. So to everyone who is celebrating, happy Kwanzaa from our family to yours.
Our family? That's just crazy. But they would put something like that out. No.
Why is it crazy? His reaction is completely manufactured. I mean, it's totally fake. You can tell that this is a fake reaction. He's going like, why on earth? He's implying that there's something wrong with the black vice president wishing happy Kwanzaa to her constituents, her people, she's the Vice President of the United States, so she's wishing happy Kwanzaa to all the families of color in the United States that are doing the same thing, which I imagine there are a lot of them. So his reaction that this is unusual or fake in any way is ridiculous. I mean,
not one word is true, but not one word is believable.
Not one word is true, but not one word is believable? That doesn't make sense. Not one word is true. I don't believe that Kamala was being false in her statements. So what he's talking about is just nonsense.
Again, it was a prepared statement. It was carefully considered. They didn't even bother to look at a calendar. It was like when Kamala Harris said that Tupac was the best rapper alive 23 years after he died. When you're making hits,
what does that have to do with anything?
You don't care about chronology or facts. We've never had a vice president who looks like Kamala Harris, so words no longer matter. That's the real message. All that matters is what Kamala Harris looks like. She's our Martin Luther King. In 1965, the actual Martin Luther King told the story about a civil rights march in Birmingham, Alabama. And at that march, a police officer asked a young girl who was present, "What do you want?" In King's telling, quote, the little girl looked at him straight in the eye and answered, "Feed him." That was 1965. Here's Kamala Harris's version of the same story, this time starring Martin Luther King's modern reincarnation, Kamala Harris.
She would tell the story about how so they're marching. And this is back when strollers didn't really have armrests and seatbelts. So they're marching away and, shouting and all of that. And then I think it was my Uncle Freddie, looked down and looked in the stroller, which was empty. And said, "Where's Kamala?" like a block line. I'd fallen out the straw. There you go. And then my mother would tell a funny story about how, like one day and I was fussing, and you know, and so I'm fussing and fussing. It's much cuter when she would tell the story, but she'd say, so then she would look down at me and Kamala, what do you want? What do you want? And I looked back up at her and I said, freedom.
Okay, so this was 2019, just Kamala Harris telling a story, and Tucker Carlson is implying that she stole it from a speech that Martin Luther King did, which isn't cool. I mean, I have to agree with Tucker here. It doesn't really look good that she is co-opting a story that Martin Luther King told in 1965 during the Civil Rights Movement. So I have to agree that Kamala did co-opt this story. It's unfortunate, it's not cool, but that's what happened. So she did it. I mean, it's clear she's told the same story that Martin Luther King told. So it's not really the best for her.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our Martin Luther King, the Canadian version, except without the wisdom, the insight, the restraint, or the eloquence, but with a brand new, highly creepy engineered laugh, a noise that, according to zoologists, scares the hell out of squirrels and other small woodland creatures.
Cite your source, Tucker. I mean, she's laughing. It's her laugh. What is so cringy about the laugh? And if you're going to compare her laugh or say her laugh disturbs squirrels, I want to see your source. I want to see the study. I doubt that exists.
But maybe you like it. Maybe you want to hear a whole lot more terrifyingly cringy fake laughter from a highly ambitious lady with dead eyes. The White House's Betty.
Dead eyes? Do her eyes look dead? I don't think so. Not my opinion, anyway. I mean, Tucker's entitled to his opinion, of course, but I'm looking at this picture on the screen of Kamala Harris laughing, and her eyes look anything but dead.
You do. So to accommodate your bottomless appetite for being patronized by Kamala Harris, they released this video in which she talks about space.
I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn.
So here Kamala is talking to a couple of kids about space exploration and describing it, talking about it, and trying to get these kids excited for the future about space, the way space exploration is going. She's trying to get these kids excited about it so that they will perhaps get involved, which is totally fine. I don't see a problem with it. And she's just talking about space and what the future holds.
Like, I love that. I love that. And so I'm very excited about the Space Council. You guys are going to see it. You're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. Oh my goodness. With your own eyes. I'm telling you, it is going to be unbelievable.
Commercial!
It's like being a gladiator. Think about it. What sport would somebody do?
I'm telling you. Okay, good. It's funny, you imagine often that the truth is hidden away. We'll never really get to what the truth is. But in fact, very often the truth is right there. It's right in the video. Just look at the video. That's the truth. It's the truth they want you to see anyway, and for that reason it's deeply revealing. That video tells you everything. One of those kids, listening to Kamala Harris talk about space, we later learned was a child actor. And yet he was still...
Again, Tucker, cite your source. How do you know it was a child actor? I mean, you're just making it up as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing there to indicate to me that any of those children were child actors. They were just a group of kids talking to the vice president about the future of space travel and space exploration, which they will have access to, be able to see in their lifetime. So she's just describing her excitement for what they are going to see as they grow up in this world right now and see where space exploration is going to go. I mean, we're already talking about colonizing Mars. Personally, I think we should start with the moon, but they need a source of fresh water. But anyway, that's another video.
Still, the most genuine person in that video. Kind of nuts when you think about it. These people literally have no idea how absurd they look. And how could they? They live in a tiny, airless cult where everyone pretends that Joe Biden is fully confident and Kamala Harris is a civil rights hero.
So they think that everybody who, he's saying that everybody that thinks Kamala Harris and Joe Biden he's implying that they're not real, that it's a parallel universe, that this group of people in the White House are separate from the rest of society, the rest of the population. I don't know. His stuff is just weird, man.
It's Jonestown. The clips we just played are the documentary evidence that historians in the future will study to figure out what happened to America. Behind the heavily guarded walls of the White House, everyone has gone crazy. Just this week, the Biden administration declared that a biological man who wears a dress is now a female admiral. And then they sent that brave four-star female admiral out to deliver a speech that read like something out of a D-Day documentary. Why?
So they're talking about a trans woman in the military who is an admiral. What's wrong with that? Props to her for coming out. It's incredibly difficult. Trans people don't have the same kind of rights that other people do, or the rest of the population do, at least not that I'm aware of. It's just, I mean, this whole segment is cringy. Like, it's just people who listen to this guy, I don't understand how they take him seriously.
I am truly honored to join the ranks of men and women across this great nation who have committed to defend the United States against small and large threats, known and unknown. I am honored to serve as the first female four-star officer of the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps.
Come on. They're daring you to sit there and not say this is ridiculous. But it is ridiculous. Sorry, not playing along.
Why is it ridiculous? This is a human being who is real, who her entire life lived as somebody that she's not. She lied her entire life and is finally telling her truth and living her life the way that she feels that she needs to. And to do that, she has come out as a trans woman in the military, and I think that it shows incredible courage to come out as a trans woman in the military, especially a four-star admiral. I mean, it could have ruined her career. She was taking a big risk, but it didn't. It didn't affect her career as much as she thought, which is perfectly fine. Which is good for her, good for them, for recognizing her rights and her right to live as she chooses.
But they don't think it is. And so you have to ask yourself, how long will it be before Joe Biden appoints his horse to the Supreme Court? And when he inevitably does do that, you have to ask, how long will it be till CNN informs us this is a watershed moment for equine rights? Don't you dare laugh. That would be a hate crime. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
So there it is. Sean Hannity doing his little outro. But there it is. Tucker Carlson. What am I doing here? There's Tucker Carlson and his segment. It's kind of, it's really quite cringy. I don't understand why people take him seriously. Like, that was the first Tucker Carlson segment I've ever watched. I'll watch more of them and comment as we go. But it's cringy. It just is. It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't understand why people don't see him as anything but entertainment. Alright, so that's my first reaction video to Tucker Carlson. I've got some more of his videos that I'm going to talk about. But this is just something else I'm adding to my channel. Hopefully it takes off. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.